most people spend their entire life on the same cycle, dieting, falling off, getting back on track again. I know because I did it for 10 years. I'd be focused on losing the weight, whether it was for summer, for a vacation, or just not feeling myself again. Then I'd feel my best, and from there, my habits would fall off. I would then gain all the weight back again, and then lose it again. And it's just a vicious cycle that really ends up doing a lot more harm than good, especially for your mental well-being. For me, it sometimes was the same 20, 30 pounds that I'm struggling with. From 125 at my leanest and 155 at my heaviest, I actually started to think there was something wrong with me. My metabolism, aging, this is just the way life goes. But eventually, I learned something very, very surprising. Staying in shape when I was younger wasn't easier because my metabolism was magically younger and better. It was easier because my whole life was different. And once you start realizing everything that's happening around you, all of these changes, you start to realize that you can actually pinpoint 10 hidden lifestyle shifts. And this is really what makes staying in shape as you get older so incredibly hard. Some of them are obvious, some of them nobody talks about, and maybe one of them is affecting you without you even realizing. So let's break down the 10 hidden reasons why staying in shape as you get older is just harder. And let's see how many of these 10 are actually happening in your life right now. Number 1, the environment shift. When you're younger, your environment forces movement very naturally. Maybe you do sports, maybe you're walking around campus, maybe you live in a bustling city. There's parks, there's things to do outside. I mean, literally as a millennial, life was totally different, especially when we were kids, because we didn't have the iPhones, the phones. We went outside and played until it was dark. And that's when you're hitting, 15, 20,000 steps without even realizing you're on the bike, you're on the scooter, whatever it is, you're moving, you're in motion. But let me ask you something. How many steps are you currently taking on a regular work day? And if you're sitting for 8 hours of a day, that number could be really low, lower than you think. And that leads to the next shift that quietly changes everything. Number 2. The activity disappearance. Similar to what I just mentioned with your lifestyle when you're young, it just forces movement, you're on the go. Now with activity disappearance, as you're getting older, movement is optional. You probably have a car now, so you drive instead of walk everywhere. Probably find the closest parking spot so you can go from your car to the place, to the car, back to the house. You probably sit most of the day with probably okay posture, and then you drive home. And then you do all of the other things, whether you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're preparing a project, you have to meet up with friends, you're meeting up with family. Whatever it is, you're already busy during the day. After work, you're even busier. And suddenly the activity that used to drive you when you were younger and keeping that weight off of you effortlessly is not really happening anymore. And not only that, but something else changes, which makes overeating even easier. So you start combining all the things. You could see how it's a snowball effect. Number 3, the convenience explosion. How many times I'm on my phone and I get a notification from a delivery service of a discount, or buy one, get one free, or order before 8 p.m. and get free delivery. Food is easier to access today than ever before. Think about it. You can order almost anything you want and it'll be delivered to you from 20 to 40 minutes. But ask yourself this, how many times have you eaten something only because it's pretty much convenient? It's already there, or it can easily get to you, or why not? The community I live in now, they always do fun things, and they have desserts out on the table right now, and they messaged everybody, hey, come get a sweet treat, it's free. And I grew up with people that used to say, if it's free, it's for me. And I get that mentality. I participated in it a lot, until I started seeing it's not free. It might be free to achieve right there and grab it, but it's not free when I eat it and it starts staying on me because I'm overeating and I had too many treats this week. Which leads to number 4, the freedom problem. When you're younger, you actually have less freedom. You have less money, you have less choices, and you have more structure. But as your own adult, you suddenly have the ability to do almost anything you want. And that freedom sounds amazing. I've dreamed of this freedom until you realize, how many times did you go out to eat this week? And maybe that means how many times did you go out to dinner, to lunch? But I mean, how many times did you go out also maybe just for a croissant, for a matcha, for a bubble tea, for a something, right? All of these things add up, which puts me ready for number 5, the Tuesday night effect. When you're younger, eating out, it must be somebody's birthday, somebody's graduating, we're celebrating something, or it's a special Friday pizza night out. But as an adult, that's quickly, let's grab lunch Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, let's do dinner on Saturday, let's do brunch on Sunday. I'm also gonna get lunch out on Monday. Before you realize it, eating out 3 to 5 times a week is totally normal. I've done it more than that. And the crazy thing is, people don't really notice this shift, which leads me to the next one. Number 6, the social trap. Another thing that happens when we get older is our social life is focused and centered around food, around gathering for drinks. Think about the last time you met up with friends. Was it for dinner, a quick bite, a matcha run, brunch, drinks with a little tapas or an appetizer, a little bite? At the end of the day, food becomes the center of connection, which is absolutely fine. And you have to consider, if you're doing all of these things, what are you doing on your own to help navigate the fact that you have 4 different outing plans in a week? Also ask yourself, what would your social life look like if you removed food from the center of the meetups? Leading me to number 7, the energy mismatch. As life gets busier, your body gets slower. You have more responsibilities. You probably have more stress, also making the quality of your sleep go down. You may or may not be getting all of your nutrients, but it's a really big statistic on how many women are malnourished, not underfed, but malnourished in terms of nutrients. Your schedule speeds up, but your energy and recovery don't keep up the same. And yes, you're getting older, but consider all of these other things that are also changing, not helping the fact that we're getting older. And that's when small incremental habits start getting forgotten. You start slipping. 5 pounds becomes 10 pounds, 10 pounds becomes 15 pounds, 15 pounds becomes 30 pounds, 30 pounds could become 50 pounds and more, which leads to number 8, the silent lifestyle drift. Most weight gain doesn't happen overnight. Actually, I don't think any weight gain happens overnight. It happens small, incremental, unseen. Again, one more choice, another one added in, 5 total choices. When you're going through the motion, that one choice, it feels so insignificant to the totality of your week, to your life. But it's not that one choice. It's that one plus another one plus another one and another one and another one and another one. A few hundred extra calories, a few thousand less steps, one more meal out. Over time, these things start stacking. And the way you can see this is if you changed nothing about the way you live right now, where would you be in 5 years? Where would your health be, your stamina, your energy? How would you be feeling? How would you look? Truly, where do you think your health would end up? And it's getting very honest with yourself at this point, because only you can answer what's right for you, what you've been doing, where you know you need to pivot and change. Leading to number 9, the identity shift. And this one rarely gets talked about. As people get older, they slowly stop seeing themselves as somebody who prioritizes their appearance. I'm sure you've seen it. She's taking less photos. She's dressing up less and feeling herself. She's showing up to less and less social engagements. And that's because sometimes weight gain follows identity shrinkage. And then you have an epiphany moment and you're like, no, something's gotta give. And then you're back at the cycle. Number 10, the start over cycle. And this might be one of the biggest of them all, because most people believe their problem is discipline. But after 10 years of the same cycle, I started to realize a pattern. The real problem was my identity. I had built a whole life, a whole identity of constantly going for it, stopping, going for it, being all in, all off the rails. All in, disciplined, hard on, totally don't care, not realizing, not tracking, not being aware. So my issue is that I built a whole identity off of starting over. We'll start on Monday, start of the month, start of the year, start of this. But by Friday, I'm falling off. By winter, I'm falling off. After the vacation, I'm falling off. And I'm constantly chasing these resets. And this is the cycle that repeated for me for years. And it's painful. I think even more mentally than physically, although your body starts feeling it. After some times, there's only so much creams can do for your skin. After some time, you have to realize what you're doing to yourself. It's almost a form of bullying where you're expanding yourself and shrinking, expanding, shrinking, expanding, shrinking. So once you start recognizing these 10 different lifestyle shifts, you can finally start putting the habits in your life that support you. Not the life you had when you were 16 or 21. Not the metabolism you had before the kids, but the life you're living today. And that's what this channel is all about. Not extreme diets, no quick transformations, but learning how to build these habits one day at a time, that when you look back, you realize that this is what you've wanted from life all along. And you stop identifying yourself with the start over. If any of these 10 shifts sounded familiar to you, you're definitely not alone. And if you want to follow along as I rebuild my own habits back and cut the cycle, subscribe and become a daily builder with me.